Hello, hello, I'm Caitlin Paget, founder and creator of Redefining Sobriety, and I wanted to share with you today something that I call the JLo method. Now, part of why I'm sharing a video about this is that I received the amazing news this past week that an article, well actually it started as a blog that I wrote about the JLo method several days after JLo's birthday, went kind of viral and was featured and picked up by national media and was featured over 638 or something like that times it shows up in a Google search. And this is something that I've been sharing privately with my clients and haven't really put out there in a big way. And clearly it struck a nerve because, not struck a nerve, it had appeal because this article was picked up and shared so many times. So I thought that I would make a video about it so that you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the JLo method. If you're familiar with Redefining Sobriety, it is the approach that you can change your relationship to alcohol based on your unique goals and desires. Many of us who struggle with alcohol are not what would be normally defined as alcoholics, or according to the DSM, which is the Diagnostics Manual, suffering from what is called severe alcohol use disorder. Many of us fit into the mild to moderate category, and that means that we have a problematic relationship to alcohol at times, and also that we're not those kind of people who can't stop after a sip. You know, they have one sip of alcohol and I'm going on a bender, or it's severely interrupting my life or causing really, really, really negative consequences. So if that's you, if you're watching this, if you're somebody who has tried to moderate before and it's really, really challenging, or you just know kind of in your intuition, in your heart of hearts, as much as you want to be able to moderate or to stop at one sip or one drink, that's just not your reality, then obviously what I'm going to share today isn't for you. Unfortunately, I wish I could wave a magic wand and make it that way for you, but there's a chemical difference in your brain and it's not what is happening in my brain. There's about 10 to 15% of the population who simply can't moderate, or you can, but you're always going to be doing what we call white knuckling it through it, overthinking it, having to really, really plan, maybe having that one drink and stopping there, but not being able to stop thinking about having your second or your third or your fourth after that. And so if that's you, then this isn't for you. If you are somebody who has been able to moderate in certain circumstances, or you know that with the right kind of support, this is a change that you can make. You know that you don't want the problematic effects of alcohol in your life, the way that it has become maybe something that you do on autopilot, or you always end up drinking a little bit more than you want to at social events, or you're drinking more frequently than you would like, then this is probably something that you could try, and I would love to hear how it goes for you. So if you don't know this already, I love JLo, and I look to her as not only as everything that she's accomplished as a businesswoman and an artist, but also how she takes care of herself. And something that she has shared often is that she doesn't really drink alcohol. And granted, she's never had a big problem with alcohol, so it might be an easier decision for her than it is for others. But she's made this decision because for her and her lifestyle and what she wants to accomplish and the presence that she has in her life and also her health goals, she has chosen to just not drink very much because it doesn't align with who she is and how she wants to show up in the world, and as I said, her physical and also professional goals. She turned 49 a couple of weeks ago, and so there was some press around the fact that how does JLo, she's almost 50 and look at how amazing she looks. And she does credit not drinking alcohol with part of that. She obviously also works out a lot, has a custom-made diet for her with private chefs. She has a lot of support and privilege around her health goals. But what I figure is, well, maybe I don't have a whole team, but I can adopt some of what she does. And one of the things that she does is already something that I had chosen for myself, which is to drink less alcohol. But the interesting thing about JLo, and this has been quoted many times in the media around how much she drinks, is that she says, I'll often have a sip of champagne if there's a toast. I like to feel a part of what's going on. I like to feel the celebration. She's not in any way sort of anti-alcohol and likes to be able to do a toast and feel a part of what's going on and take a sip here and there. And so that's what led me to develop what I call the JLo method with my clients. Because often we sort of have this all or nothing approach to alcohol. We think, either everything's great and we're fine and we don't have any problems, or we have a problem with alcohol, we struggle with alcohol sometimes, therefore we have to cut it out completely. And we forget that there's often a happy medium, or there's another way possible that we actually can decide for ourselves. And so what the JLo method really is looking at an event that you're going to, and instead of thinking, well, I've decided to change my relationship to alcohol, or I don't want to be drinking as much, or I don't want to get drunk, so I can't drink anything at all, saying I am going to drink and I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm only going to drink a little bit. And again, this will work if you already have practice with moderation, if you know that you can go into a certain social environment and not drink to excess. And if you haven't practiced that yet, or you don't have that confidence yet, I have other resources. If you go to redefiningsobriety.com, I have a self-study program that will take you through an 8-week program of really helping you set clear intentions and helping you develop the strategies to be able to moderate your alcohol use with support. So that might be your first step. This client that I'm going to reference in a moment had already had some support and practice around redefining her relationship to alcohol. And she wanted to feel like she could partake a little bit and still meet her own goals around her health and wellness. So I'm going to read the testimonial for you that she sent me and then talk a little bit more around how that applies to you. So she said, I hope you are having a lovely week. I just thought I would write to you and share a positive report back on the surprise engagement party I threw last weekend. Like we talked about, I was ambivalent about whether I would drink or not at the party. One part of me wanted to finish out July as a no booze month, and another thought it would be a nice occasion to have champagne and celebrate. Mostly, I was worried about the optics or awkwardness of declining a drink. So weird, right? The guest of honor's mother brought 6 bottles of beautiful sparkling rosé to do a toast with. It looked wonderful, but I was in a great mood and I didn't feel the need to have the effects of alcohol added. So as you suggested, I deployed the JLo method. Instead of taking a full glass of champagne, I poured a little into a glass and used it for the toast. I took a sip during the toast and about one more sip in the day. It was so nice to be able to have a taste of it and not feel like it was some shiny treat that I couldn't have. Also, I didn't really feel the need to drink any more than 2 sips of it. Instead, I bonded with some of the other sober guests. We would meet in the kitchen and make fancy mocktails throughout the party, sparkling water with elderflower syrup and fresh citrus, Earl Grey tea with whipped cream, etc. It felt so sweet to bond with them in those moments. At the end of the party, I felt great. I didn't feel that I had deprived myself or missed out on anything, and I felt glad that I was able to party for 5 hours and be totally present, energetic, and clear the whole time. I was glad to go to sleep that night feeling tired but not heavy with alcohol. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you again for the tip. It was a really happy medium for me that allowed me to stay aligned with my personal goals without feeling deprived or rigid. I will definitely deploy this strategy again. So as you can see, there is not one way to do this redefining sobriety thing. You have a right to define your relationship to alcohol based on what your goals are. And as you can see from this client and what she shared, for her actually being able to participate, to feel like she wasn't depriving herself, really helped her then be able to stop after a couple of sips. And she had other alternatives in place. She located the people in the room who could be her support around not drinking as much, although it didn't actually seem to be that challenging for her in this particular situation. She also had drink alternatives, so she had sparkling water with elderflower syrup and fresh fresh citrus, that's a tongue twister, and also Earl Grey tea with whipped cream. So if you're going to an event or you're hosting an event, and this is actually something, so I've been studying JLo's Instagram. One day I hope to talk to her about this. But I noticed that she always has things in glasses. And so I do this too. I make really fun sparkling drinks. For me, bubbly is bubbly. So what I've learned is that I don't need it to be champagne or Prosecco or Cava or whatever that has alcohol in it to feel festive. So I love making spritzers or drinks with other, sparkling water and mixing different ingredients, different syrups, different fruit, even muddled fruit. For me, that elevates my mood. So adding bubbles into anything is a really great way to have a fun alternative. I have another client who had a lot to celebrate and was doing really well with a lot of things and had been sticking with her intentions, and went to a staff party where there was constant rounds of wine, white and red wine being passed around. And she found that just drinking juice and sparkling water was really satisfying for her and fun, and she didn't actually really feel like she was missing out either. Sometimes we just don't know that these are our options. We forget that we could order something like that. We forget that we can bring those ingredients to a party. So if anything, I hope that this video serves as a reminder for you that you can choose for yourself. And just because everybody else has full glasses of champagne doesn't mean that you have to, or that you have to drink the whole thing as well. For me, it used to be kind of inconceivable that I wouldn't lift my glass for yes, more please, as the person was circulating with the champagne. I love bubbly. And so this is, I think, also for me personally, why this approach has so much appeal, because I could still have a sip or two or have a glass and enjoy it, but make sure that I have other alternatives on hand so that I'm not falling too far away from what my intentions are for drinking less. And I'm still having a great time and feeling like I am indulging and that I'm treating myself. And as my client said, not feeling deprived and still getting to taste the nice rosé or whatever it is. And also feeling great, feeling hydrated, sleeping well, looking great, and embodying my inner JLo. So if you have any questions about this, please do let me know. As I mentioned, if you go to redefiningsobriety.com, there are tons of great resources for you if you want to learn more about this approach around redefining sobriety. And also you can download my free video series around the first 3 things that I do with all of my private clients to help them change or redefine their relationship to alcohol. It's a free video series if you go to redefiningsobriety.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to receive more of these videos as they come out, because I have a whole series planned and I look forward to sharing them with you. Have a beautiful day.